Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the latest video in this React series, and I forgot which number video this is. Never mind. If you've been following along, in the previous video we tried to refactor this code to use context API rather than just using useState directly. But apparently we ran into some stupid error and I finally decided to throw in the towel after an hour. And then luckily I was maintaining a proper log of commits, a proper Git repo. So I was able to just reset my code to the previous Git commit, which was the last to last video where we implemented drag and drop. So let me just give you a rundown of uh, what our app is like right now. So we have this to do text. You can choose the priority and due date, but it's pre-filled as well. We can choose medium, then to do two. We can have these to dos, and then we can click on a priority chip and filter according to the priority. We can even drag and drop to reorder our to dos. Yeah, so that's about it for now. Now what I want to do is implement a dark mode switch, and right now as you can see the colors also that we're using are just the usual material UI colors, the defaults. We can apply our own theme to it, and we can apply our own dark mode to it as well. So the first thing that we want to do is uh, I want to have a switch over here that will allow us to toggle between dark mode and light mode. So for that we can simply go ahead and import a switch component from material UI. So I'm going to import switch. Yep. And then right over here above the header component. Ideally this should go directly into the header component, but never mind. I'm wrapping it in a div and then switch. Oh, I think it can be self-closing. We don't need to pass anything as children. So let's see where that gets us. Yeah, that should cause an auto reload. Apparently it didn't. Alright, in the meantime, let's see, never mind. We can set up the state for it. So we'll need a state variable to basically see if it's dark mode or not. Yeah, right over here we are going to say const is dark mode and set is dark mode, and we'll say use state false so that by default it's light mode. Alright, now let's head over to the header component and increase its margin from the top. It's 2 rem right now. It's going to cause a whole lot of issues. It's just going to be extra space, no issues like that. And then let's jump back to app.js. I hate when this doesn't reload properly, which is almost always when I'm recording because my laptop gets really sluggish, and I've mentioned that 1,000 times. See, we have a normal switch over here. Yeah, so let's reload once again just to see. Yeah, and now as we can see we need some margin on the top for switch. That's why I created a div, because if we were to apply style margin top directly to the switch, it was giving us some weird errors. I tried it early on. So we will apply some margin of 1 rem is fine, I guess. Yeah, so that gives us the proper spacing, and I want icons around it to specify which side is light mode, which side is dark mode. So let's go into the icons library, wherever that is. Material icons. I forgot where's the the whole directory for all the icons. snake case naming, for example. Okay, I know we have icons installed. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, here's search the full list of icons. That's what I wanted. Let's just give it a second. Yeah, so we want sun. I hope that exists. Yeah, so we'll use this brightness 7 sun, import it like this, and then we want one icon for the dark mode. Let's say moon, if that exists. Yeah, moon. And now when I go into that div, I can just, oh, oops. What were those named? Brightness 7 and brightness 7 icon and brightness 2 icon. So we need brightness 7 icon and we need a brightness 2 icon. Let's reload and see if they appear properly. Apparently not, so let's just say display flex align items center. Where did I not put one? It says this expected. Oh, I forgot to put a comma over here. So we're just using flexbox to align them properly. Cool. So now what we can do is now we can get to proper theming this. So let's see what the process is for that. So there's this whole section for customization. Where is it? Customization, right over here. And the first is theming overview. Alright, so as we can see, we need to import the theme provider. It uses the context API probably, and then we need to pass it in a theme object. Yeah, so these are the three things that we need mainly. So we'll import this as it is. So now that we have imported, now first let's wrap this whole thing in theme provider instead of fragments. I can just say theme provider, and right now this won't do anything because we haven't passed any theme to it. It says unterminated JSX. Oh, this slash has to go at the start, not the end. That error should go away now. Yeah, so now let's see, let's create our own theme first and uh, go from there. So this is the simple syntax for creating your own theme. Create MUI theme. I'm gonna do it right down over here after everything. Yeah, sorry guys. And then instead of status, let's just get rid of this. Alright, now we need to pass it in a palette object that's going to signify our palette. So first of all, we can give it a type, and type is going to depend on our state variable is dark mode. If is dark mode is true, we're going to set type as dark, otherwise we're going to set type as light, and by default is dark mode is false, so our type is going to be light. Then primary, so this is our primary color, and right now our primary color is this bluish color, and this pinkish color is our secondary color. So we can say main. Yeah, so for primary color we have to make it yet another object and give it a main. We can give it a light and dark and stuff, but if we don't, it's going to calculate it itself. So right now first I'm going to import those colors. So let's see, how do we import colors. This is the simple import statement for different colors. So I'm going to import blue and let's say red. Alright, now let's get back to create MUI theme, and over here we can say our main color is red shade 500 and our secondary color is main blue 300. Let's see what that gives us. In the meantime, while this reloads, I want to show you guys a little example that I built yesterday and today to kind of see how to do this stuff. So React, let's just go to my GitHub and see what it was named. I forgot the name of the repo. Let's see if this reloaded. No, it still hasn't. Yeah, it has, but a second. Repositories. React Material UI example. So I created this with the code sandbox today. Started yesterday, ended it today, and created this small example. By the way, I'll link this GitHub repo for the example in the description. Okay, we'll get back to that in a minute. So right now, as you see, our colors haven't changed even though we have specified a theme, but we haven't used this theme right now. We need to pass this theme into our theme provider as a prop. So we are going to say theme is theme, and now while it reloads, it will show us the change. So while it's reloading, let's check up on the code sandbox. Everything runs 5 times slower when I'm recording. It's taking quite some time to load. It's a quite heavy site, code sandbox, so it's not advised to keep it running as a tab, I guess. It's basically a lighter version of VS Code in the browser. Never mind, let's see, did it change? Did our theme change? It hasn't even reloaded. Okay, apparently your theme hasn't changed, and I have no idea why. Let's dive into the dev tools and see if the changes has even showed up. This always happens with me. I think a recording is going to go smoothly and I have this figured out, but then some stupid issue comes up and I get stuck. Anyway, theme context is definitely selected, and right here in the here we can see it has a palette and it has colors that we specified. It has a type, it has a primary, and it has a secondary. But then why didn't that show up? That's the question. We did wrap it up completely. Maybe it could have something to do with CSS baseline. Let's take our chance and put it after CSS baseline. Put a fragment over here as it was before, then back down as well. Command X, putting a fragment over here, because CSS baseline basically resets your styles, so it could have something to do with it. Not sure. So let's just give it a second to reload while we jump back over here and see that this even hasn't loaded properly till now. This is getting frustrating now. Anyway, never mind. Our theme isn't showing up still. I thought this would have done the trick for sure. We just needed to wrap it around with the theme provider, and that should have set our main color as red. But it apparently hasn't. Okay, so we have this example opened up now. So we can maybe dive into the code for this one. You see this example, we have this light and dark toggle, and this works fine. We reset our colors and stuff, but this is all we did. We created a theme. Let theme is equal to create MUI theme. Then why isn't it working? And we passed it after CSS baseline with a theme provider, theme. Let's see. This is exactly how it's supposed to be done. But if this still won't work, then I'm not sure what's wrong. Yeah, this still doesn't show up the colors correctly. Is it so that the MUI theme has to be out of the component? No, it's right inside. Okay, let's just copy this over itself. Maybe we made a mistake. So here is our theme, and instead of keeping it over here, I'm going to apply it right below the state and say let theme, and instead of red, we are going to import orange. Alright, so instead of dark mode, we have it as is dark mode. So dark mode, we just need to make it is dark mode. And save it. Yep, and now the colors show up, but before they didn't. I'm not sure why is that. As you see, I just copy pasted this from the example that I was working on this morning, and now the colors decided to show up as changed, but earlier they weren't. So I'm not sure why that would happen. And let's see over here. You can see this button has also lightened up, and the border of this also has lightened up. So maybe this light of a color isn't the best choice for primary. Instead of blue 100, let's make it blue 400. We can also look at what colors do we have. Let's see, colors right over here. Okay, so this is the palette, and we can think of two colors. Let's say teal, teal, teal 200, and yeah, teal 200 and green A2. No, it doesn't suit. I'm really bad at choosing colors, I can see. Okay, so teal 200 and lime A100. Let's see how that looks. So we are going to import those colors, teal and lime, and for the light mode we are going to say teal 200 and lime A100. A probably just stands for accent, as there are accent colors in material UI. So let's just try setting up the dock colors. Yeah, so as you can see, it changed the theme for the whole dock. A100 is not defined. Let's make it a string, as we should have earlier. These are too pastel, I think. Yeah, but it's alright. It looks fine. Not that bad. No, it does look bad. So let's just go with the original combo. Blue 300 and let's say lime 200. That should, okay, that's beyond the fact. We can always keep tweaking the colors. So let's just go over what's happening over here. So we are saying, we're checking the state variable and saying if it's dark mode, then a palette type should be dark, otherwise it should be light, and same for the primary and secondary colors. If we're saying if it's dark mode, select this color, otherwise this, same for secondary. And then through the theme provider, through the theme provider, we are just providing that theme. So now let's see. So we want our switch to be checked when dark mode is true. So we'll just say checked is equal to is dark mode. What that means is if the condition inside the curly braces is true, make the switch as checked, and for checked its condition is this, towards the moon, when it's filled basically. So as you can see, right now we don't have an on click handler, so even when I click on this, nothing's happening. So now we need to set up an on click, and we can say we don't even need to do that, we just have a one liner. We need to say set is dark mode, and so in the setter methods we have the access to the current value, so we can say mode, which is passed as an argument, and we can have an arrow function that returns not mode. So we don't even need to access the is dark mode variable, we can get the value directly inside the setter. That's something I learned recently. So now let's save that. Yeah, so that should cause a reload. And now when I switch this, okay, first of all let's go over this. Let's try creating a to do, add a to do. These are the colors that we have right now. Alright, now when I switch to dark mode, these are the colors that we have now. So as you can clearly see, the colors changed. These are not ideal, these are not these don't look good, but at least it's a step in the right direction. Now let's see how we can make the whole background as dark. First let's see if this affects the dialog. Yeah, so the dialog is also now in dark mode basically. Yeah, everything works as before, just the colors are not ideal. So now just let's switch back to the current normal mode. Now let's see how we can make the background also colored. So there were a couple ways that I was trying, and those weren't working. So what I just ended up doing was I used the use styles and checked if the dark mode was there or not, and just set the color manually on the parent container through use styles, basically CSS and JS, because there were a couple methods that you could set a background over here or whatever, but those weren't working for some reason. I might have made a mistake or whatever, but this is a way that I found that works for me. We can use make styles to basically do this. So let's do that now. So after theme, we can say const use styles, a custom hook, and this is equal to make styles, and make styles takes in a theme by default, and this should be in curly braces because this is being returned. So this has to be in parentheses, and then there will be curly braces, which just means that we are returning this object from make styles. So we are going to create a class called container, give it a min height of 100 vh. So that means even if we have less content on the screen, at least it's going to go to this whole screen, the length. And then we have to set a background color, and we can check if is dark mode. First of all, let's import gray, because of course we're going to need gray color as a background. Okay, where were we? Yeah, so if it's dark mode, then the background could be gray 900 probably, otherwise just keep it at gray 100. And then we need to say const classes is equal to use styles. I bet we can just directly have classes as make styles, but I'm not going to take the risk right now. And over here we need to apply class name classes dot container. So let's see how this plays out for us. And I agree, all of our colors are really bad right now, but we'll sort that out in the end. I'll show you a couple tricks to choose better colors. I guess I misspelled gray. It had to have an E. I put an A. So let's see if this is going to work. Okay. And it does. When we switch, this changes the color. But we can see there's some margin on the top. So we can also say on this container, margin top is 0. Yeah. Okay, there's still some gap. I guess what we can do is just create a div around this container and apply the classes to them. So we can just have a div around the container, probably. I guess Material UI also has a box component that we could use, but never mind for now. So we apply div, and then we need to give it the right class name. So instead of having these class name on container, we can have it on div. Well, this still has some space on the top, apparently. So let's see where that space is coming in from. Which element is causing that margin on the top? Probably the switch. Yeah. So instead, I remember we added a margin top on this. So instead of adding margin top on this, we can just add some padding top on the div. So we can get rid of margin top over here, and we can even get rid of this div. It's not needed. I was stupid to use this. I should have initially itself tried to identify the problem rather than trying to find a workaround. And that's a lesson for you guys. Don't try to find a workaround if it's just going to take a little effort to identify the problem. Spend some time on it. Alright, and right here I'll say padding top instead of margin top. Padding top 1 rem. And as you can see, our whole theme is changing. I'm not sure why this typography text isn't changing color. It should too. And we can add text. We can add a to do. Let's see. We can say to do add, and then we can apply filter. Yeah. Now I want to see why our typography and icons aren't changing color. So let's see over here. When we change it, stuff changes color automatically. Our text goes from black to white and so on. But why isn't that happening over here? Let's see. Let's have a background inside our theme as well. So we have a background and we can pass it a default. Okay, and then rather than saying that, rather than referencing it over here, we can say theme dot palette dot background dot default. This didn't work before when I was trying it in the example for some dumb reason, but I'm gonna give it another try. Theme.palette is undefined. Oh god, I always do this. I spell palette wrong every time. It's not double L, it's double T. Oh god, how can I spell palette wrong? Okay, so now the background isn't changing at all. I guess we can set up a use effect maybe and say whenever it's updating and make this let use styles and let classes. We can say use effect, pass in a function, pass a dependency array, is dark mode. Then over here we can say const name. It has to be use styles is equal to make styles, and just copy this over. Let's copy this whole thing over because we're going to need all of this. And let's see if this makes a difference. Use styles cannot be called inside a callback. React hooks must be called inside React function component. Okay, so let's get rid of this and hope it updates on its own. Alright, the background isn't updating still. Let's try console.log. We're going to see two things. One is classes and second is theme. And let's put this inside a use effect and get rid of this code inside a use effect. Cool. So now we'll have an insight as to what's happening. Let's head over to our console. So right now it has printed container make styles container 2. Okay, trying to figure out. Okay, it apparently doesn't show what properties it has right now. Maybe that's it. Okay, let's check our theme though. So we have her theme object, then there's this palette. In the palette we have action. Okay, so we have background and it has two backgrounds. One is default and one is paper, and we are accessing this background basically. Let's say let's try and access it over here. Why can't I type in? Okay, so if I say theme reference error, Okay, never mind. So it apparently isn't working. So what I can say over here is just put this code back here. As I said before, it wasn't working before, it isn't working now. And if some of you who I was watching can think of why it's not working, just help me out, guys. And we can say theme dot get contrast text, and it's going to take in the background, so we can just paste it in. I know it's a lot of repetition of code. We could just make this into a variable or something, but it's all right for now, not a big deal. Get contrast text is not a function. All right, so maybe just get rid of this. I was under the impression get contrast text is a function, but if it says it isn't, it might not be. That's all right. See, get contrast text is a function. So okay, so for now, let's take this off and dig deeper into our uh, theme object. So here is our default theme. Yeah, and over here, see, we have palette, and we have get contrast text. It's a function inside the palette. So theme dot palette, and I'm going to spell this right this time, and say get contrast text. But we need to pass it a color also, right? Not sure. Color is undefined. Oh, now it works. See? So now I've got it straight in my mind how this is working. Get contrast text. It's under the palette object, under the theme object, and you need to pass it a color. It's going to find you a color that is contrasting to it, and I applied it as a color for the whole container. Yeah. So I think I need to make those button group also secondary, and that chip also secondary. So where was this chip? No, first of all let's see the button group. Alright, so the button group has a color of primary. Now I'm going to give it a color of secondary, and let the chip have its color, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. This needs to reload. Okay, while that reloads, now that we have all of that sorted, now the last step for us is to just improve the color theme. So there was an option somewhere around here that let us go to the material design theme selector. Let's go to palette. Okay, material design team has built this palette configuration tool to help you. Well, this is what we used before and we were really bad at it. So let's see. Let's try and pick a better color combination from here. It's sad how slow my laptop is running right now. Okay, so let's see, light green. Nah, I like to be on the bluer side of things. So for the dark mode, let's have a really dark indigo. For the light mode, really dark indigo as the primary, and then as secondary we can have a really light blue maybe. So this is blue 200 and that is indigo 900. So for the light mode, let's try those colors, blue 200 and indigo 900. First of all, I'm going to get rid of all other colors and import indigo. So now here is our theme. Oh, we need blue gray as well. Why did I remove that? No idea. Right now secondary is going to be blue 200 all over. And this is going to be indigo 900. Yep, doesn't look too great but looks fine, and making this look good isn't my job. My job was to just help you guys with how to implement this stuff. Honestly, this color combination looks better in the dark mode rather than light mode. Yeah. Okay, so then let's think of a color for dark mode now. So we can have maybe orange orange 400 as secondary, and deep purple A700. That looks good. So this is deep purple, this is deep orange. So we just need to import those colors. And I realize how much of a time pass this colors thing is. We are basically done with the functionality. You guys can click off now, but I'm just gonna end this when I am satisfied with the colors. So deep purple, and which one was it? A700. A700, and over here it's deep orange. $400. I know the colors aren't great, but alright, never mind. So it hasn't reloaded yet. Okay, so these are the colors for the light mode, and then these are the colors for the dark mode. And looks good. It looks good. Not great, but good. I'm pretty happy with it. So alright guys, that's it for this one. And this was honestly, I promised, the last video in the React series. I've been saying that for the last 2 videos, but then I get more ideas. But now I'm done with this series. I'm moving on to another thing, and that's basically a Tailwind CSS tutorial series. So if that's something you're into, definitely subscribe and hit the bell icon to basically turn on the post notifications, because every YouTuber tells you to do that. Alright guys, on a serious note, if you find this video to be helpful, just drop in a like and tell me in the comments what did you think about it. Thank you guys, peace out.